So welcome back. This is show number 2 of Let's Hang Out. Do you mind if I paint? My name's Dan, and I'm going to do a similar version to what we did in show number 1. I just love painting that way, and that's what we're going to do. So let me give you a real quick update on what I've done here. This is a 16 by 20, so I did the other one landscape the other way, and have a mix of brown and alizarin crimson, and then left the middle open here. I did put a layer of clear oil on it first, just to kind of help this slide around. So I mixed up a little pile of titanium white and yellow ochre, and we're just gonna get it loaded up and started here. This will be another wood scene. I don't think I'm gonna put any water in this one today, so we're just gonna start and see what happens here. So let's just pick about right there. And this one is really inspired by a show Dana Jester did, and he describes this as looking to him like the flame of a candle. And I just love that, because if you've ever looked real close at the flame of a candle, it doesn't cast a shadow. Light like that just shows up and darkness goes away. I'm being careful not to hit the color where I've put it out here on the outside. You may have kissed it over there, but just want to get this nice and bright in the middle. And I am going to be going a little further out than we'll leave it, because we'll have some stuff hanging over and cover some of that up. So you can already tell this is pretty good, bit different than the one we did in show number 1, but definitely related. Similar colors, similar idea, and it's good practice. Good practice. So that's really why I wanted to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this trail down here, and we'll come back in with some white later on and brighten that up and make it more obviously a trail. So just watch this. We're just going to bring that all the way down like that. And then we're just going to kind of scrub that out a little bit. We'll keep it wider down here at the bottom than it will be here as it goes off into the distance, because that'll just help with our perspective is the way. And I'm giving it a little scoop, a little bit, that's exaggerated, but just to kind of give it a little variation there and not be totally flat. Path in the Woods is not likely to be totally flat. So let's step back, take a look. I think I'm going to put a little more of the yellow right down the middle, because I just want that to be brighter, like we talked about. And just work that out a little bit. And while we've got this going on the brush, let's go ahead and dance some in around here, because we'll have some light dancing through and zinging through the trees on this one too. And really no rhyme or reason to this, and good little X's. Really just don't want it to be uniform. That's what I'm trying to protect against, is I just don't want it to be, because this is going to be light coming through the woods. So let's yeah, we'll leave that one right there. We've got several brushes going, so I'm just going to take a clean dry brush and kind of knock this down a little bit, and it should just look a little fuzzy once we just sort of blend that down a little bit like that. And we just sort of want that to mute backwards and kind of fade off into the distance there. There it goes. There it goes. And like I said, we're going to cover most of that up with trees or this, whatever. Some branches, a bush, something like that. So, and just get a hair on the canvas, just use the corner of your brush. Kind of sneak in there. Boy, that proved to be a little tougher than it's meant to be. But we got it out of there. So, okay, there we go. There we go. So there we go, we're good there. Now we can go ahead and let's grab a fan brush. I'm going to put in some trees back here in the background. So I'm just grabbing a little number 3 fan brush. And I'm going to go into, let's make them pretty dark this time. So we'll put in some bigger trees and have them kind of drift off. Excuse me, I said darker. We're going to go lighter. So I'm actually going to steal some white, put it in here with some brown. So this color will be kind of faded off back in the distance. And then we'll put some closer up. So just brown and white and brown, whatever you like. Get a pretty good little bit in there, and let's see, let's just have this, we'll do these a little bit different than we did them last time. So we'll just put a tree in there. And one of my guard dogs has made her presence known here in the room, so if you can hear Cheetah panting, that's because Grandin used the air fryer to make lunch today, and she does not like the air fryer. Boy, she gets a little weirded out by that. Such a pretty day to be outside, and that's where she was while he was cooking. But boy, she is... Cheetah, easy baby. Take it easy, darling. It's okay. He put it away. Good girl. Good girl. And let's sneak one in over here. Maybe we'll have a little bigger tree over here. Big old tree. And it's just got a branch over there as well. So alright, now we're just going to take that brush, if you remember from episode 1. This is a pretty clean brush, and I'm just going to blend those back a little bit and go in the same direction. Baby, it's okay. Come here, darling. Come here. Come on, baby. Good girl. Good girl. Go ahead. Come on, baby. Come here, baby. Gee, come on, here. Come this way. Yeah, go over here. Jesse's over here. Go play with Jesse. Go play with Jesse. There. Go play with Jesse. Go play with Jesse, baby. Good girl. There she goes. There she goes. Alright. I don't know if you could hear that dog. She was panting or not, but that was driving me crazy. So, I'm just going to do this. Blend that gently back, and it'll just kind of drift off back. Because we're going to cover most of this up with branches, like we talked about. Branches and leaves and all sorts of stuff like that. So we'll have some bushes. And then as you blend that back, it just sort of fades off into the back of the painting there. So I love it when that happens. Before we get too crazy further on this, we're going to, I've kind of already dirtied up my big brushes, so we'll just do this with a white brush, that's fine. I'm just going to go into some straight white, straight titanium white. And I just want to really brighten up that middle. So we're going to do this right in the middle of this yellow part here. And I've got a pretty good amount of paint. Careful not to hit that brown I pulled in there earlier for the tree. And let's just do that. Pick up some more white. Just going to blend that around and let that kind of come on out, because the more we get some kind of light fading out there, that'll look like some mist or light just kind of sneaking through. I think you'll really like this variation on the other one that we did. So there, that's good fun there. And now I'm going to take the dark brush that I put in the red and brown with, and I'm just going to pick up some more dark colors. So I'm just going to get into some brown here, get into some black. If you can see how I'm pushing in that ridge of paint, that's really going to be what comes off on the canvas and really helps us with our leaves. So watch this. Leaves, branches, bushy sort of things. So we're just going to kind of start it up here a bit and kind of go back and forth. And I like to vary this pretty frequently on the brush so I don't get too tied up into just making them look like they were all put in at the same level. And it may look like I'm just giving this a whack, but I'm thinking about what kind of shape would some branches on trees like this look like? What would, you know, just sort of thinking about it. Nothing too crazy. As you get over here in the light, we're just putting in some shapes. We're going to come back and highlight a few different things. I love it when they just sort of hang over like this. And I just think that looks so cool. And let's keep this going. This is working pretty well for us. Again, not just random, but just looking for it to look like a forest. And as we get down the tree, we're going to drop down and do some kind of in here that'll help our path feeling. As I go back in, I hope that's coming through on the video, that sort of just makes it look like depth variation, and you start losing track of what branch belongs to what tree, because that's kind of what I'm going for there. We'll sneak some branches in here and then put some little stuff on this side of these trees as well here in just a second. And you don't want to cover up all that light. That light needs to be zinging through there so it looks right. As I get down here towards what we're going to have as ground level, I'm going to have the brush go much more straight up and down, so it just looks like either trees way off in the distance or just some things kind of walking down a hill a little bit. And as I get into that yellow, it's automatically going to get lighter and lighter and lighter. See that happening there? It's just mixing with that yellow and the clear on there. And like I said, don't forget, we're going to come back and put some highlights on these. And we'll probably kind of put some mist in there. Those sweet puppies are at the door. Puppies. They're 11-ish, 12-ish. How old are those little guys? I can't remember. We got to rehome those babies from some friends of ours that just worked well for both. They were traveling so much and really wanted to make sure their puppies were loved and played with a bunch, and we had helped our dog, the first dog the boys knew, Carter, cross the old Rainbow Bridge. He had some pretty rough health stuff there at the end, and anyway, Cheetah and Jessie came to live with us, so that's been fun. All right, let's do this. I love putting branches on trees, so we're going to grab some paint thinner on our little brush. I also used to like to use one of these little eyedropper things. What is that? I think there's a technical term for that, pipette or something. Anyway, just helps to pick up a few drops, get a little on your script liner brush, get it real thin like ink, or not quite as thin as water. You want it to have some color, but nothing too crazy. And I like to back off of the brush a little bit, and then just, I've had quite a bit of coffee today, and that is what Dana actually recommended on his episode of that. So if you've had 4 or 5 cups of coffee, it's a little easier to get these shakes going, and that will just help your branches look even better. So sometimes you get a little something like that. And don't worry about it if you don't make them perfect. So I'm not sure there is or isn't such thing as a perfect tree branch, but you're not going to see all these anyway. So, you know, come down in here, and maybe there's a little one sneaking out there. Another one like that. And And don't forget, we're going to put some highlights there, so we're not even going to see all of these. Because yes, those are very dark for being in that part of our light, aren't they? But that's okay, that's how it looks to me. And we're going to put some highlights on that. So just don't worry about it. See, I'm trying to get too fancy with my hand, and those didn't turn out exactly like I wanted. So we just fix them. Happy little accidents, and maybe some go off our canvas over here, because the woods don't stop just because that's where our canvas does. So, you know, a few like that. Maybe there's a few sticking out over here. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I hope you're getting the idea. It's pretty straightforward. You see that. And we'll just have that go like that. Alright, so let's do some highlights in there. Give a quick wash to our strip liner brush. That's just clear odorless there. And highlights, we said. Highlights, highlights, highlights. So I've got that yellow and white from what I did before right there in the middle. So we'll just take the corner of that, and let's take our knife. 2 brushes I can hold. I start trying to hold 3 or more, then it gets exciting. Kind of put one in my teeth and all that. So I'm going to take the color I put in there. No, we don't want it that dark. Correction. Let's take a little bit of that yellow, ochre, and white combo that we did this middle part with, and we're just going to add a touch of alizarin crimson. Kind of warm it up a little, make a little pink. Still want it more on the yellowish side, but still with just a whisper of that crimson. So I'll put a touch more of that. Oh, yeah. That's what we like. And we're going to leave it all marbly and pick up all those different colors. So watch. We'll just tap it in there. Same way we did the big brush. Tap it in there so we got that good ridge of paint. And let's just kiss in a few of these. And I'm just thinking about shape. Where would the brightest part be? Put that out first. Leave some dark. Don't kill all your dark. And let's reload. Reload often is a good thing. And if you're thinking it, so am I. I forgot to mist out the bottom of these, so I'm going to stop right there. Take my 1-inch brush and just tap. Tap and pull slightly down. I just want to mist out the bottom of these. I'll put a nice little mist into this part of the woods here. And this is a clean, dry brush, nothing on this brush. It's fun every time. Beat the brush a little bit. Beat that little bit of paint that it's picked up. Just misting those out. Good way to just put in a little mist at the footsies of that tree. And don't worry, we're going to come back and highlight there too. Just keep tapping. Any bright spots that you don't want will go away because the dark that's already there on the canvas. So there. So now we've got that on there. Let's go back to our lighter color. I'm going to add just a bit more alizarin crimson as we get over here, kind of down into this area. I just don't think that would be as bright. And we can of course come back and add some highlight on that. Ooh, there's that color. That's the color I was looking for. Yeah, and we'll just kind of put that down here as we're working on the lay of the land over on this side a little bit. We're not quite to that part, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So real quick, before we go any further, let's get another little fan brush. We're going to take a little bit of liquid white, just so it's thinner. Put it with some titanium white, because I really think the light would be shining on that path there. So let's get that in there and just add something like that. And then we're going to go right back in and just back and forth, a little bit of that scoop stroke, kind of hit and miss. We just want to drag that light back and forth because there'd only be certain spots that it would be real straight, especially as it darts off into these woods. So wipe off any excess that we've picked up. Maybe just clean that up. We want to be a little bit wider and not as bright here closest to us. So we'll pull that out just a little bit and then just tighten in those strokes a little bit. Here we go. There we go. And we'll put a little something over that path to close it in a little more. Next time, do that part sooner. That'll just make that a little bit easier. So now let's go back to our big dirty brush. Let's get some more leaves and such in there. We'll do some highlights on those in just a second. We'll just keep right on rolling on here. Because every layer we add just helps add depth and that feeling that we're deep back in these woods. So yes, I just went over some of that highlight with dark. Any of you supreme art people may not care for how I do some of these things, and that's okay. You are welcome to do it your way in your world, and I'll do it my way in mine. And this canvas, well, that's my world, isn't it? Alright, kind of digging what we got going on over there. I'm going to start putting in some dark over here, and we'll just put on some shapes. So we can come back and highlight. Okay. Plus we'll start working on the lay of the land. I want this to be a little bit shallower, like we talked about. So we're just gonna getting some dark, some more dark. We don't need tons of it. We could come in and do this really with all just light because we've got so much dark on the canvas. I just want it a little bit darker over here. It just feels like it should be. The way the light went in there, it just feels like it'd be a little darker over here. There we go. There we go. So now let's get some shapes. I really love doing this with the 1-inch oval brush. I just enjoy how that gets the kind of little leafy shapes I'm often looking for. And let's see what happens here. Let's build it on some of these trees out here. Some of these would definitely be getting kissed by some light. So let's just kind of build in some where we think some light might be hitting through. Maybe there'd be a little darker crimson over here. I love this pink color in these paintings. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And just remember something that has helped me so much. Do not cover up all your dark. Do not cover up all the dark. Dark just helps show the light. Gotta have the dark. Just varying colors back and forth. Need to brighten it up a little. Just go get a little straight yellow ochre. Or I even like adding just a little cad yellow to that to really kind of make some of these pop like they're getting some direct sun action on them. You know what I'm saying? If you can see that, I think that's cool. Some of the highlights would maybe from where we're standing would be a little lower down, maybe on the underside of the branch if it's real tall. Who knows? Maybe I'm not crazy. Well, you don't have to be crazy to do this, but I do believe that it helps. So I'm in good shape a lot of times for that part. Ooh, I like that color. What do you think of that color? You like that one? I like that pink. Just makes me smile. Painting makes me happy. I hope it does you too. Maybe drug out some paints after show number 1 thinking, my goodness, this knucklehead can stand in front of a canvas and have as much fun as it appears he is having. I assure you I'm having a ball. Then maybe you can do it too. You are absolutely right. Let's put some ground cover back here. Maybe just some nice bushy things are kind of growing back here and came down in front of our tree on this side. And we'll put in a little different color just to mix things up as it's coming down the hill. And here's where we're going to get some highlight on the dark I snuck in there before. I think you're going to like this. So yeah. So something like that, and it'll help set our path back there a little bit better. You could do all sorts of shapes here if you wanted to. You can get your big brush out, and if you want to put a big old branch, bushy thing there, go for it. Go for it. I was thinking about it, just didn't do it, that's all. See how we just leave that little row of dark in there, and it just feels like it's another layer to how the land is laying down here. And it is also very important, just so it'll look right to you. Leave this little dark outline by the path. It'll just really help it look like it goes there, and then you can just really do it. Whatever makes you happy over here. Let's vary some color back in there, like we're getting some little more sun over here. If we don't like that, we'll darken it up. But maybe we kind of have this hill thing sticking up a little bit right here at the edge of our woods. And it's just getting a little more sun on it. Why not? I don't know. It could be like that, couldn't it? Sure, why not? Oh, I see something we're going to need to do here. That's going to be fun. Let me get some, ooh, I like dark sienna. Let's use some dark sienna with the colors we've got on the brush. This will just sort of mute this down a little bit, but it won't be quite as dark as brown. Probably a color we'll put on some highlights. I like what we got going so far, but we are not done. Not done, not done, not done. Don't think for a second that we're done over there. We are not finished. We're going to put some highlights on here just a little bit where we think there might be some sun kind of kissing these on the top. Oh yeah, I like it when that happens. Oh, right there. Oh man. I hope that's coming through on the old camera for you, because I think that's cool. So now it is time to test our bravery. Let's drop in just a monster, magnificent tree. How about that? So we're going to take some straight brown. We can just do this right on the fan brush. We did the white and brown for these other trees, because we're going to go way darker, way darker. This one's going to be way closer to us, so it's going to appear that way. And then this bad boy is going to just come like this. And let's have them land right over here, then we might have one over there. We'll see if we need it over there, but I want something right in here, so. And let's have him land right there. Did you see him? That sounded like landing a spaceship. If you do decide to paint, the sound effects are tremendously helpful. They really are. Let's just kind of thicken him up a little. Man, I don't even know if I want arms in that one. I kind of like how that highlighted itself, and man, I would rather be lucky than good every day of the week. Let's come over here and see if we can't do the same. We'll just plant a big one right down here. Now that one, I don't feel like it highlighted as well itself as it came down, so we're just going to make him a little bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger, and just going to make it look like he's got some roots that kind of go like that. Now, yeah, let's do some branches on these cats. Okay, get our strip liner brush again. I've got brown running away from me, so let's just grab that up. We'll darken it just a smidge with some black. Oh yeah, I like it. Yeah, midnight black is so nice because it's got that whisper of blue in it. And we'll just put some branches. Now don't forget, branches don't all just come off of one side of a tree, so they're going to come every which way and go every which way. So I like to do them like that sometimes. I used to get all worried because they'd look like Y's or pitchforks and that sort of thing. But you know what? Once you put some leaves on them, you've got them covered anyway. What difference does it make if they look like that? I've never looked at a branch and said, that branch, not in a branch, not out in the woods. I never thought, oh, you look like a pitchfork, you shouldn't be a tree branch. I never said that to a tree. If you have, well, God bless you. Trees talk different to us all, I think. Sometimes they got a big gnarly one, sometimes it goes like that. Alright, let's put some highlights on that. Let's see. Let's just start with our lighter one. See if we like where we start there. So let's just start with yellow. Let's pick up a little more alizarin crimson. And maybe just a little more straight yellow ochre. Oh, let's mix some Indian yellow in it just for fun. So, ooh, what a bright fun color that is. So maybe we'll just do a few more down this side over here. I kind of like what that Indian yellow is doing for us there. What do you think? What do you think? Because out here, they certainly are more liable to have some bright sunlight on them, aren't they? So we'll darken that up just a bit. I'm going to use some dark sienna. I went back to our original yellow ochre and white color. A little darker on this side over here. Let's step back and take a look. Alright, let's get some of these on the other side. Man, I really like that color, so let's just see if it works over here as well, if we like it as much over here. I say I do. Let's put some here, and see how putting leaves on these branches really help push everything behind it just back a little further, a little more depth in the painting. Just makes me happy. Let's do a little big canopy kind of thing here. Maybe this is a big top tree, and it just has all kinds of. Oh yeah, I like that better than the way that was. So I'm glad I'm going to do that over here too. Let's go Indian yellow, yellow ochre, and some cad yellow. So maybe the sun is really kissing that part of that tree. Just to change the flavor up a little. Okay. Alright. Yeah. I dig that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's just change this a little. I think we need just a few on these little guys here. Just to knock a little of that back. That just looked a little too dark to me right there. And I'll tell you what. That's where we're going to leave this one for today. So, I'm going to grab us a little paint thinner on our little brush. Put it in some bright red. And we're going to sign this bad boy and call it a day. I got some other stuff to take care of today, and picking up Andrew at Car Writer Line is at the top of that list. So, loving getting to do that. Get to take him to school every morning, almost every morning. Pick him up most afternoons. And there you have it. There is the latest in our series of Let Out of the Woods. Some have water, some have a path, some it'll be up to your imagination. If you would, do check out danwilcoxart.com. The name of that website will be in the comments or in the title of this. You can order cool little things like that. That's a refrigerator magnet of a shrunk down reprint of one of the winter scenes we did. That was one of the first cabins I put in. It's tough to see on this little guy on camera, I would think. But hope you like this one, and have a great day. See ya.